Hey, what's going on, Archons? This week, I actually wanted to have a discussion about my feelings about opening decks strictly for the purpose of looking for Alliance pods. I did this twice. I don't know if I would call it twice, but I did this a couple times with a lot of decks, and I found the experience to be quite interesting. And I'm going to share my findings with you. But before that, we're going to go obviously into our card of the week. And this week, it's also coming from Winds of Exchange. This is one that I opened in my first display, and I found it quite interesting. It was actually in the last deck, and it is great art, just fantastic art. Hold on, let's get it. There we go. It says this creature gains while exhausted. Your keys cost +6. Look how cute that art is. Like, seriously, super cute art. So why do I like this card? Well, it's an upgrade that you put on your opponent's creatures, and it has the interesting thing where if you can figure out ways to exhaust your opponent's creatures, that's kind of the big thing. It's going to create a problem. There's also another card. What's it called? It is. Oh, why can't I? Not Camelot. Why is it not on this one? Fizzaloa. The one that says damage creatures do not ready during the ready step. That's the combo you really want for that. But it also creates a situation where you can, if you have the right synergy of cards, you can actually exhaust your opponent's creature with unfathomable stuff, and then that gives you the opportunity to make it so their keys are going to cost more next turn, which can buy you time. It also has the situation where you create a creature that your opponent obviously can use it, but when you have the Fizzaloha with it, I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but where you're putting damage after they use it, their card doesn't ready, you're essentially creating a moment where you can make a creature unusable moving forward while it has damage on it. So if they choose to use it, they know their keys cost more, and they have to figure a way to get rid of it. So you can almost use it as a control card for a problematic creature you don't want your opponents to use. So I really like it in that context. I think it's quite interesting and does some really fun things, and not to mention +6 keys is nothing to scoff at. So let's get on to this week's topic, which is opening decks, new decks that you haven't opened before. So sealed decks, well, let's call them what they are, and looking to analyze these decks from the pod standpoint. Now, I opened a ton of decks, but I didn't do it strictly for this reason. They were a part of it, but I was looking for good decks, and I had more decks than anything else. So I decided to open what I had left of my one-player starters, and then a display as well. And it's honestly just opening decks like that is not fun for me. I find it desensitizes you almost to the experience of opening decks. But it was more fun when I did it with my AOA decks, because AOA decks as a singular source, a whole unit, I find are full of disappointment sometimes, but there can be a singular pod that's really good. So when I was opening my AOA decks, I didn't at all look at the deck as a whole. I literally just looked at each pod individually, and I was making an assessment. Should I put this aside because it has X pod is really what I'm looking for a potential brew that I want to do in the future? What does it provide, like, for any type of archetype that I may want to build within Age of Ascension? Because I think Mass Mutation and Age of Ascension have the most interesting combinations of pods to create an alliance deck in the end. And I think Winds of Exchange is making a strong argument, but due to my lack of experience with the set, I'm not going to comment yet on that, but I will in the future. And so, yeah, opening these AOA decks and just literally not thinking of it as a deck, but as 3 pods that could be used in something, was a lot of fun. And I was like, wow, this is great. And then there's like 7 aside that are Garbo and I won't use. But then there's others that had some things I was looking for to complete some different brews. And I was like, I like this. This is neat. This could be used for some sort of something that could be dealt with, or could be used as a starting point, or maybe this will be a completion of something that's missing. Maybe it's even a launch pad of, I like this concept, let's start building around this, and then I can iterate and find different versions on the secondary market from what I have here. So I found it really fun in building Alliance this way. I really do enjoy Alliance builds. I like the tinkering of having an idea and thinking, how can I take this idea to the next level? What can I swap in to alter it to keep element A, keep element B, but I need C here to support this concept. So I find Alliance to be a very enjoyable building experience that is different in the set of KeyForge from standard, but obviously provides a new way to enjoy KeyForge. And the lack of participants in the most recent Vault Tour, I think, will not stand for long. I think more people will start gravitating towards Alliance for different reasons. And I'm excited for that because I think it is a very fun alternate way to enjoy KeyForge. And I know it was very strongly opposed at the beginning, but I think people will come around to it just as something new to try out. And the building process of looking at fun combinations is great. Like the one brew I'm working on right now, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm really enjoying the testing process. That's something I like about it. It's not just that you have a deck and you have to learn. It's like you're testing and learning and figuring out, is this working? Is it not? What about it is not working? Can I swap it out? And what can I replace it with? If I do? And by replacing it, what have I lost in order to gain something else? And it's this constant, what's the word to use? I don't want to call it, it's a fluid puzzle basically, because it's changing and it morphs and it becomes something else, but still has something that was always there. So you can see the original picture, but at the same time you're changing a few of the details. It's a really fun exercise. And if you haven't gone through the process of building an Alliance deck for whatever reason you choose to oppose it, maybe for the sake of devil's advocate, if you're against it, give it a try and see what it's like, and look through your collection and put stuff together. Jam some games on TCO, see what comes, swap something out, put something in. It's a really neat experiment, so I do recommend it. And yeah, I just wanted to share that opening decks from an Alliance standpoint is a really interesting exercise. So instead of just looking at everything as a whole, you're evaluating 3 different pods that could make up something else. It's really fun, and it's a really interesting mindset doing. So I just wanted to share that and get people's thoughts on this. So let me know in the comments below. And as always, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.